All right, hello and welcome everybody. This is actually session number 8, if you can believe it, which means that we have been doing this for over 4 months in the Ask Me Anything and open office hour discussions here at Family Empowerment Now. And this particular topic always feels a little bit awkward to me because I am admittedly not great at my own health and my own physiology. Okay, let's just put it out there. I am not like the specimen of, or the great example of the picture of health, so to speak. I don't take the kind of care of myself that I know that I should. I don't do a lot of the things that I know that I should. And I feel, frankly, that I'm probably like about 99% of the developed world, which is really a shame because we all have the brains, we all have the intelligence to know that we need to take better care of ourselves. And frankly, most of us, if not all of us, know how to do it, but we just don't, right? And that leads to the obesity epidemic that we have, particularly here in America, and all kinds of other health problems that probably can be not done away with, but certainly diminished by virtue of being proactive about our own health and our own well-being. And, for me, somebody who's always telling people to get proactive, get out in front of problems before they rear their ugly heads. I'm ashamed to say that I don't do what I should do in terms of my physiology, which is what I want to talk to you about today. But when we talked about physiology several weeks ago, I called it energy with a capital E, right? This mental energy, this mental stamina. And I think that is absolutely true, but I would be remiss if I did not admit, and I did not come here to you guys today and say to you, your mental energy is key, it's number one, but what you do with your body and how your body responds and reacts is vitally important too, and they sort of go hand in hand, because your mental energy and your vitality also depends on your physical being. Now, I'm not going to sit here today and I'm not going to give you lessons on how to do jumping jacks or the right way to do a push-up or how far you should run or shouldn't run. That's not my game. That's just not my bag. Not what I do. It's not what I'm good at. But what I am good at, and what I think that I want to do, is I want to bring it home to those of you who may be thinking, I'm going through so much crap in my life that the last thing that I want to do is go for a run. Or the last thing I want to do is sit here and meditate. All I want to do is veg out and watch Netflix, or I just want to get on Amazon, or I just want to get on Facebook and just have mindless video input for a little while. And rather than think about that as your escape, I think what we need to do in this world of behavioral health, of addiction, of mental illness, is to think about it in terms of why. Why is that our release? Why do we go grab a beer or a glass of wine instead of doing crunches? Right? They taste a lot better, right? It feels a lot better. But those who are really into all this exercise will tell you, on some level, it doesn't feel better. Sometimes those crunches and that run feels really, really good. Okay, so it's more about why we react and why we do and treat ourselves the way we do that I'm interested in, as opposed to how you get beyond the way that you're acting right now. So I'm not going to preach to you or on any level today, but I do want to talk to you, and I wrote some things down as I was preparing for today, because again, we speak about this concept of energy with a capital E. My thing is not physical fitness, but I do want to point out, as I say, that the preparation or the way that you react to traumatic events that are going on in your life or drama in your life is the result of the totality of the circumstances that are going on around you, including the damage to your body that it creates. I mean, there's no doubt about it is that emotions are impacting your body. Stress impacts your body every single day. I think we all know that. So most of you listening right now are listening because you have understandably endured or are still enduring this mental anguish, this hardship that's brought on by your compassion and your passion and your love for somebody who's struggling. And that stress is profound. It impacts every single part of you. It impacts you mentally for sure, but it definitely impacts you physically. So knowing that, and I don't think I'm saying anything that's earth-shattering or rocket science here, but knowing that, have you done anything to help yourself to recover from the stress that your body is taking on? Or how well have you actually recovered from the stress that your body's been taking on? Now, I imagine that many of you feel that you're just so burnt out and you're tired and that you're just giving up. You know, you're saying, uncle, just call it uncle. But vitality in yourself is vital. Vitality is vital, right? I think that's a great saying, actually. I wish I had coined that. In fact, I think I just did. You could have that one. So what do? Day after day, we let this pile on. We let more of this angst and more of this stress become, I don't know what they call it, something that's just eating away at the health that's inside of us, that inner soul vitality that meets up with the mental vitality. And it's cumulative, right? One day it's bad. Next day it's twice as bad. Next day it's twice as bad as that. And if after a while, it's just gotten to the point where we don't even want to get off the couch ourselves. And we're becoming the very thing that stressed us out about our loved one to begin with. So I'm asking you today in this brief open office discussion to give yourself the gift of vitality again, to do something for yourself. And I know we've talked about this before, you know, have fun, do something for yourself, put fun back into your life, make it a priority, make yourself a priority. But we'll use the analogy, I guess, or we'll do a double entendre. We'll play with the word consuming. What are you consuming? And I'm not talking about snacks. I'm not talking about chips, and I'm not talking about candy. My mother thinks I'm an oddball because I've never liked candy or chips or cake. I was out to dinner with a group of people last night. They all said, "You're not going to get anything for dessert?" And it's just something I don't do. But that has nothing to do with me being healthy. It's just something I've never done. But think about what you consume on a not a literal level. Okay, think about it from this perspective. Are you consuming TV? Are you binge watching on Netflix? Are you sitting there with social media all day? Are you just QVC shopping because they're just mindless and you could do this over and over and over again? So many of us are falling into that trap. But I want you to, as I always do, I want you to score yourself on a couple of points and give some thought to a couple of these points. And I'm going to keep drawing the analogy not to necessarily physical consumption, but perhaps the non-literal idea of eating something, but consuming things and using our inner strength to overcome the stress and anxiety that is consuming us, right? So first of all, let's do a check-in. Let's do a mental check-in with ourselves. And I want you to tell me or tell yourself, do your usual 1 to 10 analysis about your exhaustion point. All right. At what point during the day do you just hit a wall? Some of us hit a wall at 10:30 in the morning and need a mid-morning nap, I like to call it. Some of us hit that 3 o'clock, 2:30, I'm done. I need my chocolate, or I gotta rush to Starbucks and get that caffeine jolt. You get the caffeine jolt, and 2 hours later, you can't get off the floor, you know? So where is that? Are you using coffee? Are you using the chips? Are you using something else because you need that little oomph to get you past the exhaustion point? And how well do you recognize it when you're at that exhaustion point? And that leads me into my second point. What does your recovery look like? Do you have the ability to bounce back from that exhaustion point, push through it? Or even more macro level, do you have the ability to rebound after a traumatic event or a drama or a stressful situation? How is your bounce back ability? I think we talked a little bit about this last week or last time we met. You know, what is your ability to pivot, move on, get past it? Or you just linger there? Do you just get stuck there? And then that consumes you, getting back to our analogy and the consumption idea, right? So I guess this also leads into the idea of flexibility, okay? But I want to talk to you about two different kinds of flexibility here. Number one, flexibility is your ability to pivot, your ability to rebound, your ability to move forward. But here's where I am going to talk to you about physiology. The best thing you could start to do for yourself right now, today, is to get up every single morning and stretch. Do a 10-minute stretching exercise of some kind that gives your whole body a stretch, and do it every day. Because that kind of flexibility keeps you mobile. When you're immobile, you're in action. When you're in action, you feel more vital. There's just no two ways to argue it. So flexibility in life, flexibility in fitness and health. I look at my parents now who are getting older, and I look at them every day and I say, God, I wish they were more flexible. And the most healthy people you see walking around and that are elders, they're healthy and they're walking around because they've got that flexibility to move and do that. So be flexible, be willing to pivot, but also be flexible in terms of your physicality. All right, and the final thing that I wanted to make sure that I touched on for you all with regard to your physiology and your health is, you know, we talked about your exhaustion level, your rebound ability, your flexibility, but I absolutely encourage you all to get checkups, go to talk to your professionals about how your body is doing, how you're doing as a whole. I'll share with you, and I don't know, many of you do know this about me, many of you don't, but last year at the age of 50, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Completely found by accident. I was switching doctors. The new doctor said, well, let's just get a baseline of all your stuff for you, go get some blood work done. And that's how it was found. There was just no two ways about it. I did not have an enlarged prostate. I did not have any other symptoms. Turns out I needed the radical prostatectomy. So May 14th, 2020, I had that done at the age of 50. Like I said, and 50 is very young to have prostate cancer. I would not have found it if I didn't go just by happenstance to get checked out. So I'm encouraging you all to please get checked out. If you're a guy, get a PSA check. In fact, go check out psacheck.org and you'll see an organization that I'm doing some work with around this really important topic. A little plug for psacheck.org there. If you're a gal, you know, get your mammograms. If you get your blood work done, find out where you're at. And I again, I'm not I don't want to preach. I don't want to stand on a soapbox and preach because that would be hypocritical. But I do think there's a good analogy that I could use about this whole idea of the importance of physiology. And that is this. I want you to imagine that there's two people on bikes in the Alps or in Vermont or, you know, somewhere that's beautiful with not rolling. I mean, those are mountains, right? And especially in the Alps. And they're on mountain bikes. And one of them is in good shape and one of them is just getting through the day kind of shape, which I'm sure that a lot of us can relate to right here, right now. Now imagine that there's given these mountain bikes at the top of a mountain or even at the midpoint of the mountains, and now they said, okay, go enjoy a day, and they're looking around. They got this beautiful views. They've got this great air, this great aura, this great, everything's just wonderful if they can take the time to enjoy it. Well, the guy who's in good shape, isn't thinking twice about the fact that he's on a bike and he's got to go up this hill or, or up this little incline. He's just hitting it. He's just doing it. And it's given him the opportunity to look around, smell the roses, smell the coffee, smell the bacon, whatever it might be. And the guy who is in not so great shape is thinking about, oh my God, I got to get up that hill. Oh my God, I am so uncomfortable. My butt is killing me from this friggin' bike, and this is very real. I mean, you can imagine all this happening, right? And, just that's it, getting off the bike and walking the bike and being all frustrated and pissed off. I mean, I could see myself doing this. I've done this. I guess the analogy that I'm trying to make is that life is like that, isn't it? Right? I mean, people who are better prepared, people who are starting off from a better place, physically, mentally, emotionally, are able to enjoy that beautiful scenery, enjoy that bike ride and all that it has to offer them, much more so than the person who is struggling to get through the day, struggling to make ends meet, struggling to get off the couch. And it's a sad commentary on all those poor people who cannot get themselves off the couch because of illness or addiction or whatever. But I'm talking to you right now. I'm wondering, which bike rider are you? And which bike rider do you want to be? Because what I hope for you, as that song says, I hope you dance. I hope you can smell that coffee. Or if you want to, smell that bacon. I want you to be that person and take care of yourself mentally and physically so that all these other things that I talk to you about every other week, every lesson that I'm giving you has a landing spot and has a healthy vessel to catch itself in. There's nothing more that I want for you so that you can keep doing the work that you do for yourselves, for your loved ones, for your entire family, for everybody around you, for me, and for the rest of the world. So until next time, I hope you think about that. As usual, I will stop my recording now and I will talk to the group who's assembled here to see if anyone has any questions, comments, or wants to further discuss anything about this topic for today. So that's it, physiology, Michael Macniak style. Hope you enjoyed it.